What's up, Lego builders? Welcome to Coconut Brick Studios. Sorry, I know I'm a tad late. Had a previous engagement that ran a little long, but we're here now and we're ready to build. Today on the stream, I'm joined by Nolark Bricks.
Hello, everyone.
May be familiar with his stop motion. You want to introduce yourself a little?
I'm Nolark Bricks. I do stop motions, mocks, and it's mostly it.
Yeah. How long have you been on YouTube?
Since October last year, so about 9-10 months now.
So I think I found you pretty close to when you started then, because I've been subbed to you for a little while now.
Probably, yeah. I think I subscribed to you around November last year, so
okay.
I found your channel.
Awesome. All right, let's see who we got in the chat today. We got SW Bricks and Figs, Commander Delta, Titanium J, Solo Brick Builder, MB Brick Productions, Sam B. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining today. Really excited about today's stream. I've been excited for a while. We got this sweet custom ATTE from Brick Vault. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with it, but if you've seen the Brick Wiz's an access mock, those are the custom ATTEs he used, and I'm going to be building one today. So let me just grab a charging cord, and we're going to start.
For anyone that's wondering, I'm working on rebuilding a Republic fighter tank I have. So
you've got quite a few of those, don't you?
I have 3 in total.
Okay. Decent amount.
Yeah, I broke apart 1 to use in a mock, and I want 3 again. So
I do that quite a bit with my I take apart stuff, and then I'm like, yeah, you know what? I want that back when I put it back together.
Yeah, I've spent about an hour and a half before this digging through, trying to find parts. I had most of the parts, and I've had to make a couple substitutions, but overall it's got about 90% of the original parts, I think. So
that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's a really cool little set. Honestly, it was kind of a sleeper set for me when it came out. I was like, yeah, the older one's better because it's bigger. You know, I was kind of in that phase of my Lego collection. The bigger is better. And I took a closer look at the older one, the bigger one. I'm like, you know what? That one does not look very good. Like, it's not as accurate. I don't know. It's a little bit more blocky. I really like the sleek look of the newer one.
Yeah, and I got this set. This was what really got me back into Lego because.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So at the end of my Dark Age, I bought the Jedi and Clone Troopers battle pack as a one-off thing because I like Clone Troopers.
Yeah.
And then next time I was in the store, I saw this set, and I thought, oh, cool, Republic fighter tank, because I played a lot of Battlefront 2 when I was younger, the original. And yeah, it was basically those 2 sets that got me back into Lego.
That's cool. I had a pretty long Dark Age. It started out, I was a big time, like I was obsessed with Legos as a kid. But you know how it is, like you grow up and you kind of follow what your friends do a little bit. And yeah. I like sports a lot, so I play high school basketball. And obviously high school basketball and Lego Star Wars do not mesh very well. And so I kind of took a long break up until 2018. I bought the Tidarium Imperial Shuttle. So I was like, yeah, that looks like kind of a cool set. I haven't built anything in years. Like, I'll build that. Dude, I built that set and just fell back in love with Lego so hard.
Oh, yeah.
It's been all downhill ever since then. Keep buying and buying stuff.
Yeah, my Dark Age only lasted about 4.5 years. So, that's a long time, but for a Lego Dark Age, somewhat short, relatively.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Let's see here. I've been getting really bad at reading the chat. It's so hard to read at the same time.
StreamYard does kind of lag behind a minute or 2.
Yeah, that's also annoying.
Yeah. So
let's see what everybody's up to. For both these builds, yeah, I'm excited, SW. as you guys know, I'm obsessed with these. I think it's a fantastic set, and so I'm interested to see what it looks like all complete. We've got a bunch of pieces, so it's going to take me a while to sort through everything and find all the right parts and stuff.
I hope my shuffling through this Lego bin isn't too loud.
I don't think it's too bad. I'm sure if it is, the chat will let us know.
Right.
What's everybody else up to, though? I want to know what everyone's doing in the chat. Oh, let's see what we got here. The structure is really important. I messed up on my ATT and it broke in half when I was holding it. That's good to know because I definitely plan on holding it. I'm hoping to put it in some mocks and stuff too. I think it would make for a really cool vehicle to go in some mocks. But yeah, I've got a million different bags because. So this is my first time buying like a custom set and then ordering all the pieces off of Bricklink, and it's such a relief. Like I think I had to shop from 12 different stores to get all these parts, and so I'm not sure if I have all the parts I need. I may have to substitute some of my own parts. But we'll see. I'm hoping I should have most of the pieces here.
Yeah, I hope you do too.
Because I spent it's a pretty pricey set. I had to sell. I sold one of my 2013 ATTs to help pay for it. So this custom ATT ended up only being like $160. But it would have been a lot worse if I hadn't sold that.
I don't have any ATTEs, and I'm hoping Lego makes another one soon.
I am too. It'll be interesting to see if they continue on this Clone Wars vector, just putting out more Clone Wars stuff. I really hope they do, but part of me is a little bit worried just because we've all noticed the trend of Lego sets slowly getting smaller and more expensive. So I'm afraid we'll get like an ATTE that kind of looks like the 2015 Clone Turbo Tank.
Yeah, that's the exact set I was thinking of when you said that.
That's funny. Yeah,
that in the what was it, 2013 or 2014 MTT?
Yeah, yep, the 2014 MTT. That was a bitter disappointment. How are you doing, Clone Plays? I'm doing pretty good. How far am I into the ATT? I'm on step 2, so about that far. I feel like a lot of this build is just going to be me searching for parts. Unfortunately, I ordered my first AV figures a few days ago, and I can't wait to get them. I've been going back and forth with AV figures. I would really like to get the AV figures Commander Cody, but he's just never in stock. And so, I don't know. Have you bought anything from AV figures, Mark Bricks?
I have not. I was thinking about it, but then Clone Army Customs released their new Phase 2 helmet mold.
Yeah.
And so my money went to getting a whole bunch of those.
Those look incredible.
So right now, the individual helmets, they're marked as, technically misprints on Clone Army Customs site, but I can't find anything wrong with the ones I got.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's probably just because it's the first wave, so there's bound to be more imperfections than normal, but
are they pretty expensive?
Only $3 for each helmet.
Oh, that's really good because I was looking into getting some Phase 2 helmets from Area Light Customs, and those are $4 a helmet.
Yeah, the normal Clone Army Customs prices are $4, but again, these are technically counted as misprints.
Right.
So
they mark
it like discount, but I've actually had a lot of good luck ordering the misprint bags from Clone Army Customs. I've only had like 2 that were noticeably misprinted out of the 12 helmets I've gotten from the misprint bags.
So is the misprint, does it come with just a helmet or is it an entire Clone Trooper?
Just the helmets. They every now and then they'll have clearance deals on figures that are defects. So.
How much how much are the misprint helmets?
Um,
Are they the same as the new ones? $3?
so I think they've actually removed them from their site now, but they used to have these misprint packs, which were $6 for 3 helmets. I got those 3 or 4 times, and then now they have the new misprints of the Phase 2 molds. But again, I haven't really noticed any misprints on mine for the new mold yet. What am I looking for again?
My problem with like buying custom clone parts is there's too many options, and so I just get overwhelmed and don't end up getting anything. Like that's one reason why I don't have any like blasters or weapons yet, because I'm like, oh, do I go with my AV, Clone Army Customs? There's this other one, Firestar, that a lot of people have been telling me to check out.
Yeah, for me, I've only gotten Clone Army Customs weapons simply because I was buying other stuff from them at the time, and they were inexpensive. So I said, I'll just get some weapons too.
Oh, right. Yeah, I've got a bunch of weapons in my cart on Clone Army Customs. I just need to pull the trigger.
Yeah. I mean, the Clone Army Customs weapons are pretty good quality. I've only had 1 or 2 that fit loosely in the hands. So overall, really good. I don't know how they compare to other customs because I haven't gotten them. Well, actually, I do have some other custom weapons, but they're not Star Wars weapons. They're from Halo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I've actually used them in my stop motions before.
To answer your question, who asked that? Yes, Ugly, I will be building the ATTE on today's mod. Probably not all of it, just because it's taking us so long to sort through all the pieces and stuff, but I'd love to make a dent in it. I just got the new CAC helmets, and mine weren't really misprinted either, if that's what you're talking about. Okay, so it sounds like JetBrick Studios kind of had a similar experience to you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, honestly, the pictures of the new CIC Phase 2 helmet mold, they don't do it justice. Like, you got to see it in person.
Oh, really? Is it that much better?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people weren't a fan of the old Phase 2 mold. I personally liked it. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
But the new one, it's I don't know how to describe it.
I didn't hate the old molds. Like I've got a custom. Who do I have? I've got 5s in hard case from Clone Army Customs. And as a whole, I felt like overall the helmet was decent. The only thing I didn't really like was the kind of the front piece.
The mouth. I mean,
yeah,
it does look more like the people call it the Phase 1.5 ARC Trooper armor.
Yeah,
because I mean that is basically what the mold was based off of, I think, but it's not the same as their ARC Trooper mold exactly.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely a good way to describe it.
Overall, it's the ARC Trooper mold and the old Clone Army Customs Phase 2 helmet mold were based off of the same helmet design.
Well, I'm already having to dig through my pieces. This is going to take me a lot longer. I have a lot more respect now after doing this for Rich Boy Jay, because he builds all kinds of like crazy custom vehicles on his streams, and I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, but doesn't he also stream for like 6+ hours sometimes?
Yeah, he does. He streams for like 5 or 6 hours, and people. It's funny. I get people tell me a lot, like, "Oh, why are you always streaming at the same time as Rich Boy Jay?" I'm like, I'm not streaming at the same time with him. He streams for so long that no matter when I stream, I overlap him.
Yeah, he's just always streaming.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to stream at the same time with him.
Part of the reason I don't have notifications turned on for him, because he's one of those people who, like, I'm not subscribed to him, but I check in on the channel regularly. I'm kind of that way with most of the big time mod builders. Like, I'll just kind of check in on their channel and see what they've been doing.
Let's see. Are you building a custom ATT as well, Nolark Bricks?
No, I'm rebuilding the 2017 Republic fighter tank. I have 2 that are intact, but I want a 3rd one. So yeah.
That's a really good set for just like small stop motion, small mocks. Like because I had that problem a lot with building mocks before I purchased that set. Is like you have this small mock and you want some kind of nice vehicle or ship or something in the mock, but you can't fit a gunship or an ATT. So
it's perfect for this and the Swamp Speeder are perfect for 32 by 32 base plate mocks.
Yeah, that's Swamp
Speeder size area. Yeah. I mean, if you go smaller than that, the tank gets a bit too big for the mock.
Yeah, you get trouble fitting it on there.
If you go way too big, like 4 32 by 32, then the tank is just too small. Although at that point, you could just add multiple. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Scott? Welcome to the stream.
What's that? Oh, hey, TechBot22.
He says, Coconut and Nolark, my mind can't comprehend this. Guess it's too ambitious of a crossover.
Yeah. It's too much. The universe is beginning to tear itself apart.
So I know I talked about this a bunch on my last stream, but I was curious. I can't remember if I heard your opinion or not. What do you think about the new Bad Batch TV show that's coming out next year?
I don't think I was on your last stream watching stuff.
Okay, good. Then I'll get a fresh opinion then. Yeah, we talked about a bunch, just thoughts about it.
I don't know. I guess I'm indifferent on it. If it's handled well, cool. As long as Dave Filoni is mostly involved, I think it'll turn out pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of the Bad Batch, though. I mean, they're okay characters. It's just their personalities are just an exaggeration of stereotypes.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I felt it was when I watched the first 4 episodes with the Bad Batch, I felt like it was a very Disney heavy, I was like, what is this, like the Avengers? Like, it's such stereotypical powers, for lack of a better word, and just like what they would say and dialogue and stuff like that. So I definitely agree with you there, but
yeah,
I would much rather see like Delta Squad or something.
I was about to say that. I wish they had done a actual commando squad because they aren't really genetically different than the normal clones. It's just that their training makes them so much superior. It would have been nice to see,
because it would have been it's just that was so far from like what we usually see in Star Wars. Like you don't see genetically enhanced clone troopers like that. Like that's just so Disney, and that was I don't know. I have my problems with the Bad Batch. Like I think they were cool. I think it was great, but I would have much rather seen like a Delta Squad. Like their accomplishments are much cooler to me, just because the way they did it. They weren't just super strong. I don't even remember what like the main guy's superpower was. I keep saying superpower, but you know what I mean.
It basically is a superpower. I think it was like being able to sense electromagnetic fields in the atmosphere, or something crazy like that. It was just,
yeah, exactly. Like how do you modify for that?
Yeah, that was interesting. But
I heard too. It's going to take place at the birth of the Empire, so it's going to be like the beginnings of like the Imperial era. And so,
I mean,
what exactly?
If they handle it well.
What were you saying?
Again, if they handle it well, it'll definitely be a cool show. But I just don't think it'll be that
the next Clone Wars
gritty like the game Republic Commando was.
Yeah. Oh man, I've been having a blast playing that game. I purchased it a couple months ago on Steam, and I'm absolutely loving it.
Dude, I've been playing that game since I was like 8 years old, and every time I go back and play it, it's still amazing. Like, although nowadays had to get some mods in order for it to run, in modern resolutions. But those are pretty easy to install.
Yeah, that was I first saw it when I was like 12, 13 years old. I'd go over and play it at my friend's house on his computer. And it's just crazy that there's a game that I can play when I was 12 and find just as much enjoyment out of it as like a 24-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so different now and just have much more refined taste, but that game is still so much fun.
Well, that just means it's a great game.
Right, exactly. My favorite to play is Geonosis. I love playing on Geonosis.
Oh, man. My favorite mission is the RAS Prosecutor.
Oh, yes. That was intense.
Oh, yeah. Like, well, when you're 8, that's basically a horror game at that point.
Yeah, that was my first time when I played it, too. I was like, oh, man, this is scary almost.
Yeah, like, after you escape the bridge and you jump down the elevator shaft and you turn on your lights, and there's just piles of dead clone trooper bodies, like,
yeah,
that's
a good game.
That was something I didn't expect.
Yeah, same.
Hey,
what's up, Will Harper? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? I'd rather have a Delta Squad series instead of the Bad Batch. They're way cooler and can be in a way darker situation before and after Rise of the Empire. I'm trying to remember, Delta Squad's only featured in one episode of the Clone Wars, right?
Yeah, they're on screen for about 30 seconds, which is disappointing because that means they had the character models for all 4 of them, and they never used them again. Right.
Because I'm trying to remember what they do. Don't they like bring back the body of somebody?
Yeah. When Savage Opress first became Dooku's apprentice, those were the Jedi he killed.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know why, but that short scene just gives me chills. Like, they were so cool coming out of that Republic shuttle and just like,
oh, I know,
talked and stuff was just like, wow, why didn't you use that?
Yeah, that episode actually came out like a few weeks after I first played the game, if I remember right.
Oh, so it was fresh on your mind. You're like, oh,
yeah. Yes. But one thing I think the Bad Batch lacks that Delta Squad had in the game is whenever a normal clone trooper sees a member of Delta Squad, they're like, oh, crap.
Yeah. I thought it was funny, just the reaction the regular clone troopers have to the Delta Squad.
Yeah, like
I put Republic Commando as one of my top 3 favorite games. Battlefront are awesome to fight against droid guns are terrifying. Great. The one thing I don't like about Republic Commando is how hard to kill the super battle droids are. It's kind of annoying.
I actually kind of like that because it really shows just how powerful those things were. I mean, they were designed to where a squad or 2 should, in theory, be able to take out a Jedi. That was the purpose of the B2. So
that I agree with you there. Like, it's not bad, but it's so annoying. Like when you get on Kashyyyk, when you get those I can't remember what they call them, but they keep producing droids. Yes.
Oh, Kachiro Bridge. That sucked. Like,
yeah, dude, that senior level took me days to build. I was so frustrated by the end.
I know. I mean, I just think they way overdid it with the droid dispensers on that area.
Yeah, I totally agree.
If they would have done less dispensers or lowered the spawn rate for the droids.
Because it was almost impossible to take them out, get somebody down there in time, and deactivate them without just, tons of super heavies piling out of it. But I'm glad to hear I wasn't the only one who struggled with that level.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty common meme amongst Republic Commando players.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, just because of, how tough those things are.
Right. Let's see. Yeah, they bring back the bodies of Master Hasley and his Padawan Nox. Okay, cool. They make a cameo during the Witches of Dathomir episode. They bring, he's saying the same thing. That's right. Droids would be extremely threatening and terrifying when the plot wanted them to be. They're able to kill clones and Jedis alike. Yeah, that's one problem I have with Clone Wars. It's just like sometimes the droids are portrayed as just like killing machines, and other times they're just like comic relief.
Yeah, I mean,
Part of it,
it's weird. Sometimes the droids are extremely competent.
Yeah, exactly.
But other times, they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a death.
Yeah. Or, like clone troopers or some guy is approaching them. They just tell them to halt like a million times until they get shot down or cut down or something.
No. I mean, when they're facing a Jedi, like, I don't mind that reaction. Like, in the episode where Cad Bane was trying to steal the holocron, and he ended up capturing Ahsoka, Anakin was walking down the hallway towards Cad Bane, and there were 3 battle droids there. And one of them was like, "Stop! I told you to stop." And the other one was like, "It won't matter." Like, that one had just completely given up when he saw Anakin.
It's like, I know what's happening here. Just let it happen, buddy. I'm thinking it's about time for me to go back through and rewatch the Clone Wars. It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, how long has it been since I watched it? It's only been a few months. I watched it all in lead up to season 7. Almost all of it. I did skip 1 or 2 of the first season episodes.
Yeah, I skipped the entire first season, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, there are some good ones in there. Rookies is the first good episode of the show.
I think I like the Ryloth campaign. That's the end of season 1, right?
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's spot on. I think what I don't like is just the initial Ahsoka, season 1 Ahsoka.
Yeah. I personally think Anakin never should have had a Padawan.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, why? I don't know. I know it's just a TV show, but it always confused me why they wouldn't even like make him the rank of master. So he's always with Obi-Wan Kenobi, but then they give him a Padawan too.
Yeah, and he was only 19 when he first got a Padawan. Like, Obi-Wan was young for Jedi standards when he took Anakin as his Padawan, and Obi-Wan was like 22 to 25, somewhere around there.
Right.
And that was pretty young for Jedi standards to have a Padawan.
You almost feel like, I don't know, it was weird, just like the selective, I'll call it selective trust that the Jedi had in Anakin. Like, oh yeah, we're going to belittle you and not make you a master, but then we send you on all these missions. Like, you get a Padawan. I don't know.
I think that was simply due to, the politics of the Jedi Council.
Yeah.
So, I mean, constant debating and stuff. Some stuff's going to work out for Anakin. Other stuff isn't. I mean,
right. That's true.
Because, like, the council was split on it. You had Obi-Wan, who was on the council, who almost always backed Anakin. And then Mace Windu, who almost never backed Anakin. So...
Right, and then you kind of got like some neutrals in between who get swayed. But
Plo Koon was pretty neutral.
yeah, he was pretty neutral.
I can't remember. Was Sakura on the council?
If she was never there. Like,
yeah.
I almost feel like she was more of like a general. Less of like a like a kind of like on the council. I felt like she was in the field more often than not.
Yeah, I don't think she was a council member because I just never remember seeing her there.
Yeah, I don't ever remember seeing her there either.
Yeah. Oh, another reason I like this set, because the 327 Star Corps is my favorite corps of the clones. So getting their leader is pretty cool in this set.
Yeah, she looks really good. That's a good minifigure too.
Oh yeah, and I have 3 of them.
Oh yeah, that's true. You do have 3.
Yeah. I also have 3 clone gunners, so it really worked out there.
The clone gunner is one of my favorite Phase 2 clones. It looks incredible. I replaced his white arms with dark tan arms too. Looks really good.
Wow. That would
so it matches his helmet. It looks
I
awesome.
got to see how that looks.
Yeah, I'll put a picture on Instagram and show you because it's a big improvement. Just helps you stand out a little bit more too.
I don't really like replacing the arms on my newer figures anymore, simply due to the cracking problem.
Yeah, it took me a while to, I don't want to say work up the courage, but like just actually do it because I had the arms and I was like, oh, I just hate the feel of just like ripping those arms off. It feels like destroying the minifigure. But yeah,
I did it a lot when I was younger, and now I've got like my Commander Cody. He has a crack on his torso. So, like, I mean, at least I still have the figure, the original Phase 1 Commander Cody. I think overall the Clone Gunner is my second favorite Clone Trooper. Second or third, next to Commander Wolf, who I own, but he's lost in packing. Same with the Wolfpack Trooper and my Phase 1 Commander Rex, or not Commander Rex, Captain Rex and Commander Agree. My Phase 1 of both of those.
Have they released a Lego Phase 2 Wolf, or is it just Phase 1?
I think they released Phase 2 Wolfpack Troopers, but not Wolf himself.
Okay, because I knew they had the Wolfpack Troopers with Plo Koon with that droid gun, or with that clone cannon.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we had a Phase 2 Wolf as well. What set does the Phase 1 Wolf come in?
The Republic Frigate.
Oh, yeah.
My all-time favorite set. I will buy another one eventually.
Is that a pretty pricey set to get now?
Well, used, not really. It's about $100 to $150. New, yes. But I want to get one with the figure, so that's gonna run me upwards of $200 whenever I do get it.
Oh wow, that's insane.
Yeah, I don't have the money right now because, well, I'm a broke college student.
Yeah, I know how that is. Yeah, it's hard to keep up your Lego hobbies and go to school.
Yeah, I mean, but from what I've seen, I'd be able to get it cheaper on eBay than Bricklink. Yeah, but
another pricey one is that I can't remember what ship it is, but it comes with the Rebel Ahsoka from Rebels. Trying to
I
remember
don't know.
It's some kind of frigate, I think. But yeah, that one's super expensive too.
Wait, I think I do know this. Was it like the Republic Medical Frigate type thing that the Rebellion retrofitted?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, yeah. I do know that. That's really the only Rebel set I know of because it's essentially a Republic vehicle with color swaps. So.
Oh, listen to this. Will says, use small needle nose pliers to squeeze the arm ends inside of the torso. I've never broken a figure since I started this. Interesting. Just squeeze lightly. Too hard, it's just as bad. Interesting. I'll have to try that out.
Interesting. Yeah.
Droids were specialized in security issues and were connected to a central network as seen as Episode 1, and the B1 droids were given a consciousness of their own. I like the B2s are hard to kill in Republic Commando, yet Gregor one-shots them in the Clone Wars. Yeah, that happens a lot, I feel like, in just any kind of movie and TV show. You know, you'll have a certain thing in one scene that's hard to kill, and then you take it one shot in another scene.
Wow. I've been searching through this bin for like 5 minutes trying to find one piece, and it's been on my table to my left this whole time.
Oh, awesome. I hate it when that happens. I've been looking for a piece and holding it at the same time.
Oh man, I've had that happen before.
I don't know how that even happens, but it's happened to me.
Well, if you're streaming, you know, your focus is split between the stream and building. So,
right, yeah, that's kind of how I am now. I'm like kind of trying to look for 2 pieces, and also keep an eye on the chat.
I think both of us are doing a terrible job reading the chat.
Yeah, I know. I'm really letting it get away from me.
We just had a 5-minute conversation without checking.
Let's see. Jack T wasn't really on Coruscant in the Clone Wars. I think that's because she was kind of overseeing clone development on Kamino. She was kind of in charge of that whole thing.
Yeah, she was basically there to make sure the Kaminoans didn't kill clone troopers for slight imperfections.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I don't know if that still is true in the Disney canon, but in Legends, the Kaminoans were very strict, and if you did not meet certain criteria, they would, a lot of the times, execute you. They would repurpose the genetics for, like, if a clone trooper was injured, they would just use the bodies of dead clone troopers to give them a new arm or something.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, that oftentimes clones weren't buried; they were collected, and their tissue was repurposed to heal other clones.
Wow, I did not know that. See, I did know. I knew the Kaminoans were like a very, I don't want to say dark, but kind of a, I don't know what the best term is, but they're just very scientific with, their views of clone troopers and how they viewed them and stuff.
I mean, they saw them as nothing more than property.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I don't want to judge the moral compass of characters from a fictional galaxy, but although I think their species also was into perfecting their own genetics.
Oh, yeah.
And getting rid of anything that they didn't see as good for their species. So
let's see. There's two spots that you want to squeeze. Look at an army you already have out as a way of instruction. EMG, you're only one step behind me. Hey, what's up, EMG Bricks? Welcome to the stream. Let's see. Did you buy the parts for the ATE as a lot on Bricklink? No, I had to buy from 12 different stores to get all of the parts. There actually was one store that had all of the parts in the set, but it would have been a total of $400 US. And I was like, there's no way I'm paying that much for this. So it's cheaper if you buy it from a bunch of different stores, even though you have to pay shipping.
I think my dad is really skipping ahead. He's now on to Revenge of the Sith, and it's on the Order 66 scene. He was watching Attack of the Clones 30 minutes ago. So
he just skipped directly to the saddest part of the movie.
I guess.
Is your dad a big Star Wars fan, or just kind of likes the movies?
Yeah. Well, he does this with a lot of movies.
So. Oh, okay.
Yeah. He likes to skip boring parts if it's just him watching.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I watch Episode 1 is my favorite movie in Star Wars, but there's some scenes that I really don't care for. So.
Yeah, I just saw that earlier today.
Yeah, that one, I love that one, which a lot of people, that's their least favorite one. But I think that's really good.
The more I watch it, the more I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's not the most action-packed Star Wars movie, but I love seeing the development of the politics and just like the story, good story.
Like, is it a good movie overall? Yes. Is it a great Star Wars movie? Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's my view on it. I have a pretty similar view for Attack of the Clones. It's a decent movie overall, but it's a good Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I mean, even getting rid of the cringy Anakin Padme scenes. It's a really good movie because I watched that recently too, and I was like, holy cow, this Obi-Wan arc is good.
Oh yeah,
really good.
Plus, it gave us the greatest piece of audio to ever exist: the sonic charges.
Yes, dude. Yep. That's so funny. That's just like generally accepted as just like one of the coolest sounds ever in existence.
I know.
I watched this YouTube video a while back of a guy who recreated the sound on like a soundboard on his computer. It's pretty cool. He just took a bunch of random sounds from like his yard and then manipulated them the right ways to get the sound.
Saw one video where a guy took the audio and mixed it and made a song out of it.
No way.
Yeah, it's called I think it's called the Sonic Charge song. It's like a minute long, I think, but that just shows you what a lasting impact that piece of audio left on everyone who saw the movie.
Oh yeah, it changed lives.
Yeah. Oh, another thing about The Phantom Menace. Even if you hate the movie, it did revolutionize CGI.
Right. Yeah.
Until 2002, it was, from a technical standpoint, probably the best movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Clones was the best. And then after that, Revenge of the Sith. And then the entire movie industry caught up to George Lucas around 2008.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that's a fact that a lot of people don't know, just because you kind of have to be not old, but just like older to really understand like that was a CGI just masterpiece, like groundbreaking technology, groundbreaking filming, and all that stuff.
Jar Jar was the first fully CGI character. Without him, you wouldn't have characters like Gollum from Lord of the Rings, I think was his name.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Andy Serkis did him. And then think about like the Avatar show with the blue people.
That is true. Yeah.
I feel like that one probably was heavily influenced by what they did in Star Wars. All right, I gotta get caught up on the chat again. Let's see.
The worst
seismic charges are a blessing to everyone's ear. That is right. Attack of the Clones is overly hated on. It's a sick film. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, as a kid, that was my favorite movie. Battle of Geonosis all the way. Such a cool movie. I mean, now I look at it from like a battle standpoint. Not the best battle, but it's still pretty cool, iconic.
This is probably a controversial opinion, but I think the best part of that movie from an acting standpoint was when Hayden Christensen did the "I killed them all" scene.
Oh, when he's talking to Padme about
yes, like I think from acting, that was Hayden Christensen's best point in the movie. He did a great job overall, but I think that was his best point.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, to be honest, a lot of it isn't so much Hayden Christensen that it makes the movie bad. I'm just not a huge fan of like Padme's character. The more I've watched it,
that is true. I can agree with you there. I'm not a huge fan of Padme.
Yeah, the more I've watched it, like her dialogue, the way her character's built, I'm just like, he just doesn't make sense. Like 1 second she hates Anakin, and then the next second she's like dragging him around, making him do stuff, telling him she loves him.
It's not a fault of Natalie Portman. It's just
right. She's a great actress.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that she was very good for the role either, though.
It's just, I don't know. I've never been a huge Padme fan, though, to be honest. Like, even in like the Clone Wars, I don't feel like she's
I mean, the reason I'm not a huge fan of Padme in the Clone Wars is because it's such a completely different character than in the movies.
Yeah, it is.
Another controversial opinion I have. I'm also not the biggest fan of Anakin in the Clone Wars because of how different he is compared to movie Anakin.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's definitely a hot take right there.
Yeah, and if you look into the history of how the show was made, it was never supposed to include Anakin as a main character.
The Clone Wars?
Yeah, the 2008 one, because they had the 2003 one for Anakin and Obi-Wan, but originally it was supposed to be about some girl named, I think it was Ashla, who eventually became Ahsoka, and her master. But something's changed, and then it switched to another Anakin and Obi-Wan story. Like the 3 movies, the 1 TV show, and the dozens of books we already had.
Yeah, I know. Who was her master supposed to be? Do you know?
I don't know. It was going to be a new character, I think. It may have been.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't a pre-existing master already.
Actually, I would have loved to see a show where Plo Koon was Ahsoka's master.
Yeah, him and her had some great chemistry.
Yeah.
Did Plo Koon, did he ever train anybody during the Clone Wars show?
I don't think he had an apprentice during that time.
Yeah, I don't think he did either.
From my memory.
Which is weird because I always considered him to be like one of the most just level-headed Jedi. Like he had a great balance between like taking action and also just like thinking through things. I feel like he would have made a great master for anybody.
Oh yeah.
He's one of my favorite guys.
A 1x1 stud. One of the smallest pieces.
Oh, I hate those. I hate when you're just got one tiny piece you're looking for.
To answer Mike and Ike's question, I haven't watched any of the Harry Potter movies.
Let's see, I read all the books as a kid, and I was actually a huge Harry Potter fan as a kid. Loved Harry Potter, watched all the movies. I don't know. I've kind of digressed over to Star Wars now, but I definitely loved them as a kid. Like I wanted the Lego sets and stuff. I appreciate the films. I think they're really good. I prefer Star Wars.
Yeah, I've just never seen them or read the books, so.
You've never read the books either?
No.
Wow.
Read an interest?
Yeah, you don't meet a lot of people who haven't seen the movies or read the books.
Yeah, I've always been into science fiction mainly.
Okay,
or space fantasy, like Star Wars is.
Right. So. Yeah, I was more into fantasy as a kid. Like read all the Lord of the Rings books, saw the movies, the Harry Potter stuff, and a bunch of other fantasy stuff. But as I've grown older, I've definitely been drawn to science fiction more.
Found it.
Let's see here. Plo Koon.
10 minutes. Found that 1x1 white stud.
Finally, right?
I don't know if it was actually 10 minutes, but it was pretty darn close.
Plo Koon is the embodiment of what Jedi should be. Yeah, he's a good example of what are they called, like the Gray Jedi or the Knights of the Gray, or I can never remember what their official name is, but I feel like
he's not a Gray Jedi. He's just, I think he's a decent example of a true Jedi, because at the time most of the Jedi followed the code rather than the will of the Force.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of like the philosophy of the Gray Jedi, though?
No, not exactly. Like, the philosophy of the Jedi, when it was first started, was simply to follow the will of the Force. The only ones that really did that towards the end of the Order were Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, but that was after the fall of the Order.
Right.
And then I think a couple of them, like Plo Koon and Shak Ti, were pretty in between following the code or the will of the Force.
Yeah, because it felt like to me, Plo Koon made a lot of his decisions in the Clone Wars based off of the Force and how he felt about something, rather than some people were like, well, what does Master Yoda have to say? Or what does Master Yoda have to say? Let's see. I recently just finished watching the Harry Potter movies. What did you think? Did you like them? Will says, apparently Jay is streaming the same time as you again. Yeah, I mean, no matter when I stream, just because Jay streams for so long, I always seem to overlap with him.
Oh, one interesting fact about Plo Koon. In Legends, he actually developed a form of light side force lightning.
Hi, I saw a video about that the other day. I don't think I actually watched it.
I forget the name. It was like something Judgment.
Yeah, yep, it was Judgment.
It was yellow, and yeah, the Jedi Council asked him. He actually reported the incident to the Jedi Council because he used it by accident. Then he pondered on it for a few weeks, meditated, and decided it's not a dark side ability because he didn't feel any hate or anger, and he wasn't using it for self-gain or anything like that. So,
I mean, even kind of the name Judgment implies, Whoa. we've got an interesting opinion here in the chat. Yoda was the worst Jedi in the prequels and Clone Wars. How do you feel about that?
Mace Windu.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Yoda, he tried. Like, I feel like he tried, but he was just too clouded by the Force, whereas Mace Windu, he didn't even try.
I mean, I think Yoda's problem was the fact that, in the past 100 years before the prequels, he'd gone through a lot of stuff. Like, Dooku was his apprentice, but then Dooku betrayed the Order.
Right.
And then, plus he was like 850 to 900 years old at the time, so he was a bit old for that job.
He kind of reminds me of, do you remember the Jedi with the white lightsaber who helps Ahsoka go find hers in the Clone Wars? I don't remember his name.
Nube, I think.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of him. Like I feel like at a certain point, maybe be relieved of your duty and just kind of like go live in the Force.
Yeah.
But I guess I feel like at that point they felt like Yoda was their last hope against Darth Sidious, just because he was kind of the most powerful out of them.
Yeah, well, he was the strongest and wisest Jedi of the time.
Right.
So it makes sense that they would want to keep him as master, especially since, his body wasn't really failing him physically at the time. Like, Master Sinube was old and frail.
Yeah, he was.
You can still get by.
I remember in the episode, he's like always falling asleep and taking naps.
Yeah. He's just an old guy wanting to, make a difference in the Order again.
Right. Speaking of, I guess while we're on this track, I want to talk about some stuff that I've been thinking about for a while. Like, a lot of people, hate the prequels, or don't hate the prequels, but are sad to see like the fall of the Jedi Order and stuff. But I think it was not only necessary, but it was like great timing for the Jedi to fall and like a new order. Because I don't know, I almost feel like popular opinion of the prequels is like, oh man, like if only the Republic had won. It's like, I don't think things would have gotten any better if the Republic had won. Like,
no. If Palpatine died, then somebody else would have, continued to manipulate the Senate until they got power.
Right, exactly. Like, it was just, the system was corrupted, everything was bad. Like, you just needed that cleansing fire of the new start.
And towards the end of the war, the Republic was basically reliant on the Chancellor because they'd given him so much power.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if the Chancellor had died when Master Yoda fought him, then there would have been a huge power vacuum, and the Republic would have been torn apart.
Yeah, and like, honestly, the Separatists, the CIS probably would have won at that point. Well, I guess Anakin had already killed everybody by then, huh?
Yeah, overall, I mean.
I think, yeah, because he cleaned out everybody on Mustafar, and then I think Yoda.
But the Separatist government was still intact. All of these senators and stuff, they were still alive.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it was just the Trade Federation, huh? And like the banking clan, and then the Techno Union.
Yeah, the people Anakin killed were basically all of the big businesses that were sponsoring the Separatist army, along with, some of the generals. Yeah. Which, overall, I think the Separatists were the most morally sound faction of the entirety of Star Wars.
I agree. As much as I love like the Galactic Army and Close Troopers and the Republic, not a fan of the Republic government.
No. I mean, the reason I say that is because they were simply people who wanted to get out of a very tyrannical and oppressive government, and they were told no.
Right.
So they said, all right, we're just going to buy a whole bunch of these battle droids, and if you try and keep us in, we'll fight you. So. And the Republic tried to keep them in. So they thought, actually, the Republic started the war by invading the sovereign planet of Geonosis. Because Geonosis was not part of the Republic. Republic had no right to be there at all. Because Anakin and Padme, or no, Obi-Wan went there illegally.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Tracking Jango Fett. He didn't have any permission to be on that planet. Anakin and Padme went there, again, illegally, and then Anakin slaughtered a bunch of innocent factory workers.
Yeah.
Like, if you really look at it through the Geonosians' point of view, the Republic and the Jedi had no right to be there.
Right. Brick Pigeon has a question. I'll let you answer this because I have no idea. What's a good stop motion editing software?
All right, so if you just want to get into it, Stop Motion Studio is great. It'll get you started. As far as advanced editing, like I use Hit Film Express. It's free, but you got to have at least a decent computer for it. So then I do all of my audio recording with Audacity. So I basically use 3 different programs in order to make my videos.
I'm pretty sure I've bought most of the pieces, but they're all so buried deeply under all these bags that I'm just ending up pulling out pieces from my collection, and then I think I'll just replace them once I find the actual piece, because I feel like it's going to take me forever if I try to build everything and then also take apart these bags, open them all.
Yeah, for me, the biggest time waste here is trying to find the actual pieces. I mean, I've done a few substitutions, but for the most part, the pieces that you'll be able to see, I've been able to substitute like white for light or dark gray. Same with the maroon. So I'm hoping that it just looks like a weathered vehicle. Like a lot of the paint and stuff has been stripped off.
Yeah.
So, but actually, as I was going through my bins trying to find all the pieces, I noticed that I may have enough pieces to swap out all the maroon for yellow, making it a kind of 327 Star Core variant.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I'll definitely try it. If it works out, I'll probably make a video about it.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I love it when people like do mods and variations of vehicles. I think it looks so cool.
I mean, it'd go great with all my 327 Star Core figures and, of course, Ayla Sakura, who came in the original set.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Welcome to the stream, Lego Boy Creations. How you doing, man? See you later. It's Lighter28. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Sorry I'm not the most active with the chat today. This ATTE is, I don't want to say it's kicking my butt, but it's definitely putting up a good fight. So I'm kind of distracted. It's keeping me busy. TechBot hasn't been on YouTube very much lately. He said he's not feeling motivated right now. Yeah, I remember I talked to him about that a little while back. He said he was lacking motivation to upload or something like that. Probably just experiencing some creator burnout.
Yeah, I mean, he kept a pretty consistent upload schedule for like 2-3 months. So
yeah, he did.
That could probably burn you out. I mean,
yeah,
since he was doing 2 or 3 videos a week plus live streams, it definitely helped him grow fast. But
yeah, I tend to go in spurts. It really depends on like my work schedule on whether or not I can upload a bunch, because I work. I have weird hours, and so obviously if I'm at work, I can't upload.
For me, because of school, I normally basically alternate. I'll be really focused on school for a week or 2, then really focused on YouTube for a week or 2, and just alternate like that. But
I think I've reached my max of like how much I like to upload. I like to put a video out. I like to put a video out on Sunday, and then a video or a live stream on Wednesday, and then a stream on Saturday. That's like the max of what I enjoy doing. Some people like to do like the daily upload or, every other day or something, but that's too much for me.
I just don't have enough ideas in order to do anything like that. I mean,
I would run out of content so fast.
Yeah. And, the more advanced I make my stop motions from a technical standpoint, the longer it takes. Because I probably spent almost as much time. Actually, I did spend more time editing this last stop motion that I released yesterday than I did recording it. I procrastinated a lot, which is why it took 60 days. But
oh, wow.
Yeah. But I must have spent like 20, 30 hours just editing it over the course of the past month. And a lot of that was in the last 2 weeks.
I'm excited to watch it now. It must be pretty good.
Well, I am my own worst critic, so don't.
Yeah, that's how I feel about my videos. Let's see. He doesn't feel like making mocks. He isn't feeling creative, so he probably just needs to. Yeah. Honestly, like if you're feeling like that and you're in that situation, the best thing I can advise is taking a break. There's a reason I take such a big break between my big mocks. Like I took a month off after Naboo before I started Umbara, and I think I have 2 or 3 months off between Umbara and Utapau, because you have to, if you just keep pushing yourself, you'll burn out and you lose the joy. But I find when I take a break from it, I start to miss it again. I start to want to build a large mock, and that's how I know, all right, I'm starting to get ready to start another one. Gotta have that passion for it, kind of like fire in you to be able to do it, or else it just doesn't work out.
For me, one of the reasons why this project took so long is because I got a bit over ambitious. I wanted to do way too much, and it was just beyond my means, really.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of skills along the way as far as improving my stop motions, which is great. But, towards the end, I had to cut a lot of my ideas out. So, which, if you watch it, it is. When I watch it, I think it feels a bit unfinished, unpolished.
Like as far as like the story, or just like what you did with the editing?
Story-wise.
Okay.
I mean, it is technically unfinished. I forgot to add in one voice line.
Oh, shoot.
It wasn't huge, but...
Do you voice all of your characters? I think one time, one of the videos I watched, I think it was for my mock contest, you had your mom, the Jedi, right? But other than that, has it been all you?
Pretty much. The Yoda voice was my older brother, and then any female voice is my mom.
Okay.
So, like the captain of the ship in this latest one was voiced by my mom.
How long have you been doing stop motion? Like, did it start with the birth of your channel, or have you been into stop motion for a long time?
I've only been doing it since March, I think it was. Sounds about right. Late February, early March, yeah, because I released my first one, and then like 2 days later, I moved.
Oh, okay.
So.
And what brought you into stop motion? Like, why do you do stop motion?
I was watching a lot of videos, a lot of stop motion animations on YouTube, and I thought, hey, I could do that. So,
that's funny. That's like why I started my YouTube my YouTube channel. I hadn't really watched. I didn't watch YouTube growing up. Like I didn't really know Lego Star Wars channels existed, and then I started watching them. I think a couple of years ago. And I was like, well, you know what? I think I could actually do this. And then, a little while later, there was this video that I really wanted. I was looking to buy the UCS Sandcrawler. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to see how it shaped up to the 2018 Sandcrawler. And so I was looking for a comparison video, and nobody had done a comparison video. And so that kind of pushed me over the edge. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to start a channel, and I'm going to make that video. And then, of course, Sonar Productions went and made the video before I could do it. But I still went and did it anyways.
Yeah. Great timing, bud.
I know, right? I was like, oh man, you got to be kidding me! Of all the videos you can do, you picked the one I was gonna do.
Hey, new YouTuber just had a great idea for a video. The third biggest YouTuber makes the video first.
Yeah. I mean, the video I did still did pretty good, but I'm a little disappointed.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's old. It was oh man, I think it was like maybe my 4th or 5th video ever. So it was back before I had a microphone and stuff. It's not a great video, but you know, none of your first videos are.
Yeah, man.
The first videos are always just bad, regardless of like what you do. I feel like I prepared as best I could, and then just decided to start.
All right. I've begun making substitutions as for the actual pieces, not just the color.
So you're putting in different pieces.
Yeah, like it's mainly for these.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like I'm replacing those. So
I've made it this far on my ATTE.
I've made it this far on my tank.
Oh, nice! You're about the same as me.
I think you've actually done more overall.
Yeah, slow progress for sure, but that's okay. I think what I'm going to do is after this stream's over, I'm going to take these pieces out and then organize them for my next stream. I was going to organize these pieces, but I didn't have time to do that before I started the stream, so I think my next ones will go a lot smoother. Just because I'll have all the pieces sorted out into different piles. So it'll be easier to sift through them. Let's see.
It's like the chat is talking about a bug that YouTube had.
Oh, really?
Would randomly lose subs. It's Mike and Ike saying that.
Oh, yeah, I heard him talking about that, where he lost like 10 subs and then gained like 20 or something in one night.
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube does weird stuff sometimes.
I know, like I've had times where I lose 5 subscribers in like the course of 2 days, but then after that I gained 10 over the next week. It was without even making a video.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I get this thing that happens to me a lot where it just happens one sub at a time. So I lose one and then gain it back and then lose one, and it's really weird. I don't know if somebody's just like trying to decide if they want to stay subscribed to me or what, but they just keep going back and forth. And it's just with like 1 or maybe 2 sometimes. Let's see. I'm in a car, but I saw the stream while I was watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Well, thanks for stopping by, Squeaker. Right now, I'm building the custom ATTE from Brick Vault, and my friend Nolan Bricks here is trying to restore a 2017 Republic fighter tank. And neither of us is making great progress.
I'm just hoping I have all the pieces in this small bin, because if I have to go digging through my other 2 main bins, which had some of the pieces scattered through them, that's going to take a lot longer.
How do you sort your parts? Like, do you just have 1 bin of Lego, or do you have your stuff sorted out pretty good?
I used to not sort my parts until about 2 months ago. So well, it's not exactly true. I had one bin where if I saw a piece to a set that I eventually wanted to rebuild, I would throw it in there. But now that bin is it's almost full.
Oh.
Yeah. So luckily, most of the pieces for the Republic fighter tank were put into the mock I used it for.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I made that thing back in like December or January. It wasn't that great of a mock. I just never, disassembled it until yesterday.
Uh-huh.
So, because when I made it, it was my first mock that I thought, wow, this actually is of okay quality.
So you just kept it built for a while to display it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it was the first vehicle mock that I was actually kind of proud of.
What was it?
It was loosely inspired by that Imperial hover tank from Rogue One.
Yeah.
Very loosely. Yeah. Like I just took the basic design concept of a vehicle with a turret at the front and a large flat area in the back for either cargo or troopers.
Uh-huh.
And I made a pseudo-Republic version.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you have that set, the Imperial fighter tank?
No, I never had it. I remember seeing that vehicle in Rogue One and thinking, wow, that was a good design.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like the tank itself is pretty cool from the movie, but I'm not a fan of the set. I don't think it looks very too small.
Yeah, it had that. What was it like? It was a weird Imperial helmet.
The Imperial gunner.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's got the helmet. It's the same helmet as the pilot, the 501st or that 501st pilot from Darth Vader's castle. And it's that same helmet, but it's like just gray.
And I think it's also the Scarif Beach Trooper.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I was gonna look it up, but now we have a consensus that it was that.
Yeah, that is a pretty cool looking minifigure. Although I don't remember, is that actual minifigure on the tank? I thought it was just stormtroopers.
Let me look up the tank.
But I could be wrong. I haven't seen Rogue One in a long time.
Neither have I.
Let's see. I only sort my small pieces. I use a lot of minifigures and accessories. How do you sort out your minifigures, Cheese Top 17? I'm currently doing a live stream series where I'm mega sorting my 50,000 piece part collection. I will definitely be using your Amazon affiliate link to buy more of those Acro Mills drawer cabinets. Oh, thanks, man. I love those Acro Mills bins. They were definitely a game changer for me. They've sped up my building process a lot because I don't have to spend as much time doing stuff like this, digging through parts. Coconut, how many streams do you think this build will take? Well, if I keep at this progress, or if I stay at the same speed, like who knows, like a few months, but I'm hoping I want to, after this stream, I can sort out these pieces better. So I'm hoping I'll be able to build this in like 2 streams. That's my loose plan right now, though. We'll see.
So to answer the question about the Imperial hover tank, yes, those gunners were in that set.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was actually 2 of them in that set, so I kind of want to pick it up now.
Oh, I kind of do too. I didn't realize there were 2.
Yeah. So, also has the blind guy.
Oh, yeah.
I forget his name, and I don't care.
I know. That's one reason why. I don't really remember.
All everyone remembers him for is that scene with the blindfold.
Yeah, and one with the horse.
Yeah, when the rebels are taking them to Saw Gerrera, and they run up to everyone, put a blindfold, and then they put a blindfold on him, and he's like, "Are you kidding me? I am blind."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they put the blindfold on the blind guy.
Yeah, it's ironic.
I actually really liked Rogue One. I thought it was a good movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, my biggest problem with it is that it was a movie to address a plot hole that was never actually a plot hole.
Yeah, it was definitely a very interesting story.
I mean, it was a good movie, but if you take it out, I wouldn't really miss it.
Right.
I've never, before the movie came out, I was never wondering, wow, I wonder how exactly they got the plans for the Death Star.
Right.
I just accepted it because they explained it in A New Hope that, well, some rebel spies acquired the plans.
Especially because, like, even in like, if you think about Episode 6, they get those flight codes for the Imperial shuttle. And they're like, oh yeah, we got them, like a bunch of boxes.
Flight codes, the Star Wars story.
Yeah.
Make it happen, Dave Filoni.
That's right.
I say him because he's the only one I trust at Disney to make a great Star Wars movie or show.
I agree. I heard. I don't know if this was. It's so hard to know. Like, what's
John Favreau too.
It's so hard to know. It's like what's just rumor and speculation. At one point, I heard Kathleen Kennedy was trying to make a TV show about an all-female Star Wars cast, but I don't know how much truth there was to that because I haven't really seen anything since.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen. But I honestly don't care what gender a character is as long as the character is well written.
See, that's my thing, but my fear was, it's like, well, why do we have to focus on the fact that it's all female?
The personality of the character is the fact that they're a woman or they're a man. If that is their only personality, it's not going to be a good character. That applies to both male and female characters.
Exactly. That's one thing that I've always enjoyed about Star Wars is I felt like typically, there were women Jedi, there were men Jedi. Like, I never really, I don't know, thought of one type being better than the other, I guess. Although I would have liked to see a little bit more screen time from some of the female Jedi, like Shakti, Luminara. I always thought she was really cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, another reason I wish they didn't focus on Anakin and Obi-Wan so much in the 2008 Clone Wars.
Yeah. Because
give the other characters their time.
Right. Because they don't
die anyway, so...
We've got 3 movies for Anakin and Obi-Wan. Let's branch out a little bit.
Yeah, and there was already one cartoon TV show at that time. Have you watched the 2003 Clone Wars?
I've seen parts of it. I've never actually seen the whole thing, but I've heard people talk about a certain scene, and I'll go look it up on YouTube. So I've seen clips. Like I've watched when that group of clones, that special clone unit takes on Grievous and Grievous.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty cool. I really like that scene. Grievous is so cool. The old 2003 cartoon.
It's a great show. It's only like 2.5 hours in total for the entire series. It's one of the best 2.5 hours of your life.
I plan on doing like a large scale battle of Coruscant at some point, and so I want to watch that scene to kind of get some good reference material.
Yeah, that is probably the best example of the Battle of Coruscant to watch, because my favorite scene from the Battle of Coruscant is when I think it was Sassy 10, the guy with the curving horns.
Yeah,
like he puts on like a Viking style helmet, and then he leads like 500 clone troopers, and they jump out of a Venator to a Separatist ship. Wow. That was awesome.
That sounds pretty cool. A Viking style helmet.
Yeah, because he had the horns on his head.
Yeah.
So instead of the helmet having the horns.
Oh, I got you now.
Yeah. And of course, that was, so he could actually breathe in space.
But
there's just that helmet design was amazing.
Speaking of breathing in space, I think it would be cool if someone recreated the scene, when they drop all those ATTEs on that asteroid to ambush the Separatist ships.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I think that would make for a really cool model.
Yeah, it would.
Let's see here. The Empire side was excellent in Rogue One. Yeah, I think Rogue One is a great example of showing it was a force to be reckoned with. Because I think sometimes in the original trilogy, especially with stormtroopers, sometimes they were a bit underwhelming. I think Rogue One really helped show how intimidating they could be.
All right. Well,
I'm excited to stream tomorrow, finally starting my Tantive build. Have either of you got that set? I don't have the UCS Tantive 4. Do you have it? Do you have the UCS Tantive 4 Nolark?
What'd you say? Sorry.
Do you have the UCS Tantive 4?
No, I don't. Neither the UCS nor the 2019 one.
It's the I think the 2019 one, right? Because that one came out last year.
Yeah, that's not a UCS set technically.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought it was a UCS set.
Yeah, it's
Oh, is it part of that like Master Builder series?
no, it's just a normal ship set. Like
So they only released one
Like the
UCS
playset
set last
sort of.
year?
yeah, it's technically a playset because it's only 1,700 pieces, and I think they have like certain minimum piece counts for UCS. The Master Builder series is for like bases and stuff like Hoth. Well, there was a Hoth one that was labeled as UCS, but it should have been Master Builder series.
Yeah.
They created the Master Builder series due to the backlash of that one being a UCS. So
this new, I don't know if you've heard about this new rumored Mos Eisley Cantina. Is that going to be a Master Builder set then?
I've heard rumors of it. I mean,
because I've but I've heard people saying it's going to be the UCS set. But that would be interesting because I was kind of the same mindset. I didn't think they really did bases in the UCS.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly don't think it really matters if something's a UCS or a Master Builder series. Like it's not a huge deal. But
I'll buy it whether or not it's cool. Like I don't really care. Like, oh, I have this UCS set. If it looks good, I'll get it.
If there is a UCS or a Master Builder series, Mos Eisley, I'm probably not going to buy it. Either way.
I just don't know what I'd do with it because most of my builds or most of my buys tend to focus like, okay, can I use this somehow? And I don't think I'm going to do it anytime soon. Maybe one day.
Keep going in and out of camera, but because I'm trying to search through this bigger bin, so just put it on my table for now. Got one of the pieces I'm looking for, and now I just need one exactly like it, but mirrored. Trying to find some of the wedge pieces.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm pretty sure those are really the only two pieces I'm missing. I didn't notice I was missing them till just now. And I can easily substitute them with a different color, so I'm not too worried about it.
Let's see here. Nice thing about Star Wars is that aliens make up most of the galaxy. That's actually that's one of my favorite. One reason why I like Star Wars so much is because it's got such a large, lots of like stuff, lots of books to read, lots of like details to look at, and it just gives me lots of great ideas for all. Tons of different planets to build.
All right.
Do you have a favorite alien race in the Star Wars galaxy, Nolark?
That's an interesting question. I don't really know. I mean, there we go.
How about this? Maybe this one will be a little bit easier to answer, like a favorite planet.
Favorite planets? Again, that's a tough choice. I mean, there's just so many.
There's some good ones.
I mean, if you're talking about like a planet I would like to live on, I'd say Alderaan or Naboo. Primarily Alderaan, because they've got nice open plains, they've got mountains with snow and stuff. Like, it's a beautiful planet.
Yeah.
So, but Naboo would also be a nice place I'd like to live. That is, if you're talking strictly, landscape and stuff.
I think Naboo is definitely my favorite, both like to build and like if I were to pick a place to live. Naboo is just, you got the cool waterfalls, but then you also got those jungles. You got some crazy water.
Yeah, that's
you can go check out. Like a lot of interesting things to do, and I just feel like, as far as like trying to eat you, like there are definitely a lot of things that will try to eat you on Naboo, but it's a relatively moderate threat level. Whereas like if you go to Felucia, or somewhere like you've got problems.
I mean,
Because isn't Felucia the home world of the Ackley?
yes, it is.
That's one thing. Yeah.
There's a reason there. I don't think there really is a sentient life form native to Felucia.
Oh, really?
Comparable to humans, that is.
Oh, right.
Most other, it's mostly just animals who technically are sentient, but not on nearly the same level as humans or any other of the main species we see.
Right. Yeah, that's probably got to be like one of the more savage planets.
Yeah. You've got giant things with basically spears for feet, and they've got 6 legs.
Yeah.
Exactly. They've got razor sharp teeth. They're like 15 feet high.
And I remember I did a little bit of research on them a while back, and they're super intelligent as well, like super smart hunters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're a big target, so especially for much smaller creatures. So they'd have to be smart.
Do you know which planet the Rancor comes from?
I think there's a couple planets that it's native to. The only 2 that I know off the top of my head are Dathomir and Felucia.
Okay, I was thinking Felucia was the Rancor as well.
Yeah,
but I wasn't 100% sure on that.
They probably originated from only one of those planets. It's just, from what I remember, those are the only 2 planets where I've seen them. In The Force Unleashed, they are. You go to Felucia, you fight several of them.
Oh, really?
In the game Jedi Fallen Order, there's several on Dathomir. And at least I know in the Legends canon, the Night Sisters love to use Rancors.
Are they wild, or are they like someone's fighting pet?
Well, the ones on Felucia were mostly wild, but the ones on Dathomir were domesticated by the Night Sisters.
Did you enjoy Jedi Fallen Order?
It was pretty good overall. I think it was a little short. I mean,
I've heard very mixed things about that game.
Yeah, my biggest problem is that I think the main character is kind of somewhat of a coward for a Jedi.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's kind of hard to explain. So he constantly refuses to flat out kill people who are trying to kill him.
Okay.
Yeah, so mainly with the Inquisitors. In really the first Inquisitor you fight, and it's like actually to the death, really. It's on Kashyyyk. I don't care about spoiling the game because it's been out for quite a while. So.
Yeah, it's super organized.
I mean, it's on Kashyyyk, and he wins the fight by cutting off her hand, but instead of just stabbing her to make sure she's dead, he just force pushes her off the tree.
Okay.
So she could easily still be alive.
Right.
And then, again, when he was fighting another Inquisitor, he just stood around and let her ramble on after he had beaten her instead of just killing her.
So is that like some kind of moral code of his, or is it just he's scared to take life?
I don't think they really give an explanation. It could just be the writers of the game not understanding the Jedi's policy regarding hate.
Right.
I mean, yeah, the Jedi aren't supposed to just go around killing people, but when somebody is, those are basically Sith assassins.
Right.
I've been shown to have no problem killing Sith.
Yeah. There's definitely. Because I mean, like, I know Obi-Wan says it as a joke in Episode 1, but like Sith are their specialty.
Yeah, you mean Episode 3?
Or yeah, Episode 3. Wow. Whoops.
It's funny because Obi-Wan lost most of the times when fighting a Sith, and the only time he beat a Sith was Darth Maul, and Darth Maul had literally just become a Sith.
Right.
And
like he barely beat him.
Yeah. And he only beat him because he used the dark side.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's one thing I don't like about, or I think is interesting. I guess I don't want to say I don't like, but Obi-Wan he kind of loses a lot in the prequels.
Well, it makes sense because he barely qualifies to be a Jedi as far as midichlorian count.
So, meaning he's not very strong in the Force?
No. Like, I think most Jedi are in the 10 to 15,000 range. Whereas, by the way, this is mostly legend stuff, not canon.
Yeah, I
make that clear. Whereas Obi-Wan is in like the 5 to 8,000 range.
Oh, okay.
And most people that are inducted into the order that are that low, they normally don't become Jedi Knights. They're sent to like the botany division to work with plants. I'm not kidding. In Legends, there's entire different sections of the Jedi Order for people who didn't qualify to be Knights or Guardians or Sentinels. And they would basically do stuff like humanitarian aid, working with the environment and stuff. That was their job.
So what ultimately made him become a Jedi, or like allowed him to, I guess?
Some master thought he was good enough and convinced I guess it was whoever makes the decision on who does and doesn't become a Padawan. They convinced them to let Obi-Wan become a Padawan. I mean, it may have been Qui-Gon Jinn. I don't remember exactly.
I think this might be a sarcastic question, but this is a question for you. It says, what Nolark bricks you don't want to live on Mustafar or Umbara or Dathomir? Just kidding. Naboo and Alderaan are the planets I would live on.
Honestly, I don't think Umbara would be that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on where. Like, I mean, if you're in the city of Umbara, it's probably not bad. But
if you think about it, pretty much any other time when there's not a war going on, I think it was mostly a peaceful planet. And from what we saw, there isn't that much danger of wildlife. There are a few smaller creatures, but those were under the control of the Umbarans, I think.
And if like the ones that would pose a threat, like the Vixis, those are stationary, so it's not like they're going to hunt you down.
Sarlacc type thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Like you said, if you're living near a town or a city, you'd probably be fine. As long as you don't mind not seeing the sun, which considering how pale I am, that might actually be a good thing to avoid the sun. Because the only way I can get a tan is to first get sunburnt.
Oh yeah, I used to be that way as like a little kid, but I framed houses as work for a while.
That'll get you pretty tan.
Yeah, that'll get you tan really quick. That or you'll just burn yourself to a crisp.
Yeah, I worked in demolition for about 2 weeks. It was pretty fun, but the guy that I worked for, he didn't exactly get fired from the job. It's just that the job itself kind of stopped existing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just like a change of roles, or they just didn't do the kind of work he was doing?
They didn't need the work done anymore, so...
Okay.
So he wasn't exactly fired, the guy I was working for, but it's just that the contract didn't. I don't know. I hope you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yep. I've been in that field of labor, and sometimes there just isn't a need for what you're doing anymore, so nobody hires you.
This is ridiculous. I'm trying to find some of these wedge pieces. I found 4 of them, 4 different colors, all of the same angle.
Oh, I hate that. I don't know what
One of the opposite angle. Like any one of these colors will do for this, but
it's just different colors with the same angle.
I need this, but the opposite of it.
I don't know what it is about wedge pieces, but I typically will find the same wedge piece multiple times before I can
Got
find
it. Finally got it. It's going to be light gray instead of black, but like the instructions say, but I don't care. I'm going to find this for 10, 15 minutes now.
Hey, what's up, Galaxy Lord? Welcome to the stream. I think the biggest problem for Umbara is lack of sunlight. Overthinking it.
Yeah.
You would have to find ways to make up for not having sunlight for your body and mind. Yeah, it would definitely be a very mental, there'd be a big mental thing to overcome for sure.
I think Umbara was actually pretty split as far as allegiance during the war because most of the people, I guess, were pro-separatists, but one of Palpatine's personal aides that you see in Episode 3 was an Umbaran.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the really, really pale chick.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
Yeah, that was an Umbaran. So, and she was there, I think, in Episode 2 also.
Yeah, because he has pretty much the same entourage throughout most of the prequels.
Yeah, the blue guy with the long head tail things. He was there for Chancellor Valorum.
Yeah.
So he was in that office for like at least 30 years.
Do you know what his species is? Do you know that guy's species, the blue dude with like the long ear horns?
No, I don't. They look very similar to Twi'leks, but they're not.
Yeah, I've always wondered where he came from because he looks similar to the really fat Ryloth representative from the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But obviously, I don't think he's from Ryloth.
No, he's got horns and stuff, so
yeah,
not a Twi'lek. All right, on to a different part. Finally.
Clone plays. I prefer the Phase 2 helmet. Interesting. Do you have a helmet you prefer between Phase 1 and Phase 2?
I definitely prefer Phase 2, but if I had to rank them, I would say realistic Phase 2, realistic Phase 1, and then animated Phase 2 and animated Phase 1. I hate the animated Phase 1 helmet.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah. Like, not animated as in the 2003 Clone Wars, but the 2008 Clone Wars. I hate that Phase 1 helmet.
Why do you hate it so much?
Well, just the Phase 1 armor in general. It's just... So, I'll start with the armor in general. The back plate, it doesn't look anything like the back plates in Episode 2. It is literally a Stormtrooper back plate. They just took that design and used it. And then the helmet itself, it's lacking so much of the detail that it had in Attack of the Clones. And also the shaping on stuff like the cheeks and the visor is just way off from Attack of the Clones.
I'm really torn. Like I think the Phase 2 helmet looks better, but I don't know if it's just because of nostalgia, but I really like the Episode 2 Phase 1 helmet.
The Phase 1 helmets in Episode 2 do look beautiful. But.
Yeah, they look just incredible. I also really like how I didn't notice this until I was a lot older. The kind of, the visor part that they look through it's not black. It's like I guess
semi-transparent.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, they had I think it was 2 different visor types for the Phase 1 and Phase 2. They really focused with the Phase 2 on reducing the weight. So it was less protective in some areas, and they lost features like it being vacuum sealed. Because Phase 2 wasn't vacuum sealed. You could get an attachment that made it vacuum sealed, but Phase 1 wasn't. Which is why Phase 2 started to be made because ARC troopers and the like, they needed much lighter armor.
Uh-huh.
Overall, the Phase 1 armor was uncomfortable for clone troopers to wear because it was designed by the Kaminoans, who clearly have a different biology.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So. But the Phase 2 was actually mostly comfortable to wear, even though it was less protective. It did fit the purpose better overall on the battlefield.
Right.
I mean, clones were a lot more agile.
Yeah, I would definitely take like mobility over protection.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's just my style.
I think somewhere in between. Like, I think the Phase 2 design was a decent compromise. And then you have people like Captain Rex, who basically mixed both of them. He kept his Phase 1 chest plate and visor, but he basically used everything else from Phase 2. Even in Rebels, he still keeps his Phase 1 chest plate because of how much more protective it is than Phase 2.
Let's see. Oh, it looks like the Brick Whisperer, he loves the Clone Wars Phase 1 helmet. Says it looks really good.
So does Clone Plays. He says, I disagree with you, Nolark. I prefer the Clone Wars Phase 1. The Phase 2 helmet is good, but I like the Phase 1 more. No, it is a matter of personal preference. I'm just saying, like, if you compare the Clone Wars Phase 1 to the Attack of the Clones Phase 1, the Attack of the Clones Phase 1 just looks vastly superior, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm talking mostly the plain white ones. Once you start to add the paint jobs, and it starts to get more detail, the animated Phase 1 helmets, they look okay. I just, Overall, I just prefer the realistic helmets to the animated ones.
Yeah, I do too.
The 2003 Clone Wars, in my opinion, had some pretty good-looking Phase 1 and Phase 2 helmets. They really fit the art style well, without messing up a lot of the design characteristics of the movies. Yep, nothing wrong with gray for this. Another color substitution. Maroon being substituted for light gray.
So are you still going to do the yellow paint job, or you think you're just going to stick with the original?
Oh, I'm trying to get it as close to original now. If I may go back and do yellow later, but I'd have to dig through my bins in order to find all of the yellow pieces that I would need, and that's if I have them all. So. I'm definitely going to try, because I think a 327 Star Core variant of this would look awesome.
Yeah, I think that would look really cool.
I think this one that I'm building now is going to look like a normal Republic fighter tank, just weathered.
Sunblade says, I wonder what other cloning projects the Kaminoans had. Sad thing I've seen recently is those clone babies you see in the tubes in Episode 2 most likely never got to adulthood. The Clone Wars only lasted 3 years, but the clones needed 10 years to grow and be about 20 years old. I guess I didn't even think about that.
Well, I mean, they were started production in about 10 to 13 years before the Clone Wars started. So.
Right. I guess it's because, they had so many clone troopers. You just think, oh, yeah, it only takes a few years. Like, it still takes a while.
I think it took them 8 or 9 years. I think it was 9 to be combat ready, because at that point they would have the body of an 18-year-old. So about 8.5 to 9 years. And then in Legends, in order to boost the number of clones, they started using Spar-T clones, which only took a few months to grow. They were vastly inferior, but they were basically used as cannon fodder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so those made up basically most of the grunts, whereas regular clone troopers that had the full 9-10 years.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the war, those were mostly NCOs and officers, and so they just commanded the Spar-T clones. it greatly reduced the number of, proper full 9-10 year clone growth. It greatly reduced their number of casualties, but yeah, the Spark-T clones were inferior in pretty much every way, except for the fact that they only took a few months to grow us close to 10 years almost.
So they kind of started to almost follow similar tactics to the Separatists, kind of just throw out large numbers.
Yeah, they needed to, because, the Spark-T clones were still superior to droids.
Just not on par with
they were smarter and stuff than droids, of course, but nothing compared to a proper clone. Kaminoans did have other projects going on, like in The Force Unleashed 2, they were working on cloning Vader's apprentice. They definitely had other contracts, but it's just that a vast majority of their resources went to making 2.5 million clone troopers.
Yeah, they kind of had one main contract to focus on.
Actually, in Legends, it was as low as like 3 million and as high as like 150 million. Because Lama Su says 200,000 units ready with 1 million more well on the way.
Yeah.
And in some sources, a unit was a single clone trooper. In other sources, it was an entire battalion.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It was a battalion or a company, something like that. So, Yeah, a battalion is, I think, 4 companies. I'm pretty sure on that. So that would have been around 260-something clone troopers.
That would have, greatly increased the number of clones.
Yeah.
It makes sense because I know 200,000 is a lot of clone troopers, but when you're talking about an intergalactic war, it's like, that's not that many.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I think the number that's in the hundreds of million makes more sense, simply because the Separatists could probably produce billions of battle droids within the 10 years that between the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. So, especially with the Geonosians helping them.
Right, and just like all the Venators that need to be crewed, like all the vehicles that they would be clothed in.
So to me, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense that there were only like 3 million at most clone troopers.
Yeah, there's no way they could have fought on the scale they did with that few. Let's see how long. Wow, we've almost been streaming for 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
I was planning on doing an hour and a half, and then time just got away from me.
Yeah.
Well, I've made pretty good progress so far. So this is the front end of the ATTE. So the driver and gunner are going to sit right here. And then you've got the first 6 seats right here where the clone troopers are going to sit. And it's looking pretty good so far. I'm really liking the build. It's very complicated, but it'll be a lot of fun once it's finished. So I'm going to get more of these parts organized, and then I'll probably stream more of the build. But I think that'll be it for today's stream. I'm pretty tapped out. But thanks for coming on, No Lark Bricks.
Anytime.
I appreciate it. It was fun. It was fun to talk to you about Star Wars, and I'll definitely have you on again if you ever want.
All right.
And thanks to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for sticking this one out. And we will see you all later.